Time now for the joint chiropractic adjustment of the game. Big play here, first quarter. Hurricanes on Halloween Eve with a little trick or treat. Double reverse, flea flicker. Down the sidelines to Will Mowry into the end zone. 6 points for the University of Miami. A thing of beauty. How about this, the way Restrepo just flips the ball right back to Van Dyke to a wide open Will Mowry with long strides into the end zone for a Hurricanes touchdown. The joint chiropractic adjustment of the game. Welcome back to the show, everyone. Joe Zagacki, Don Bailey Jr., joined now by our sideline broadcaster and Hurricanes podcaster, Josh Darrow. All right, fellas, the Canes have Georgia Tech coming up on Saturday at 12:30, but let's bask in the glow here of winning 2 games in a row against top 20 opponents. Miami looks like a different team. Tyler Van Dyke, the last 2 games, has thrown 7 touchdown passes. But this feels good for the University of Miami.
It does, Joe, and I think what you've seen here is you've seen a team redevelop. They started the season, and we talked to Coach about this earlier, with De'Aaron King. There was that personality. There was that dependency on him at quarterback. He gets lost for the season, and now you have Tyler Van Dyke, who's getting a grip on the offense. You have a change at the running back spot, too, with the Rooster being inserted into that deal. And now you've got an offense that is gaining its personality, and a lot of it has to do on the right arm of Tyler Van Dyke.
Absolutely, and I think someone used the word reboot a few weeks ago with this team. And really, if you think about it, almost half the offense is different. Right. Offensive line, running back, quarterback. You've had the emergence of some young receivers as well. And so it's starting to hit its stride. You clearly see a more comfortable Tyler Van Dyke. They're winning behind his right arm. And we talked about before the Pitt game, it was a battle of big plays. And they hit big plays. The Rooster hit a big play, and they made big plays on defense too.
You know, the late game aggressiveness is going to prove or pay big dividends, because now the opponents are not going to be quite sure how to defend Miami. Again, if the game's hanging in the balance. Miami's been throwing the ball on 3rd down, finding big plays in late game situations. Also on the offense, Josh mentioned Knighton. He has made a world of difference. The big plays he is giving the University of Miami, both receiving and running.
Well, Joe, he's so explosive. That's the big thing. He doesn't need that much space, and he doesn't need that much distance to get to top end. And I think that's what you saw. You've seen in every game that he's played, and he's only getting better. I think people forget that he was not available to play at all in the first 4 games. So now he's getting the feel. We've had some changes on the offensive line during that time at practice when he was out there, and now you're getting the flow of the offense, and I only think he gets better. And then the nice fill-in, of course, is Cody Brown, who's a totally different style. And he tough to bring down. I mean, you're down there, Josh, on the sideline. That guy, you can't get him in the dirt.
He's a brick house. I mean, he's thick, wide-shouldered, young freshman. I think we give credit to Rooster. Certainly the big plays have been awesome to watch and makes things so much easier when you can break one off. I think he's been 40-plus, at least 40-plus in every game he's been in since he's been back. But I think give the kid credit. He's been tough running inside the tackles. And his blitz pickup in this game, I thought he stuck his neck in there and knocked his shoulder against a couple of incoming linebackers from Pitt. But he's really growing into this role, and he has definitely changed the personality of the offense.
He brings the physicality to the offense. It might not look like it in his size, but he brings a physicality.
That he does, and he runs the play you're watching now is he ran that wrap play. That's what where they pull the backside guards and they get everybody moving in one direction on the offense line, then wrap the guys around, and he just explodes when he hits the line of scrimmage. And I think his acceleration is what's impressive to me. And the other part is how strong he is. You know, you and I, we all see him after practice or before practice. He's not a roped up guy. He's thin and he's wiry, but he packs a punch.
Yeah, he gives them the equal dynamic of, you can call it inside zone, outside zone, stretch, and let him find creases. But if they have to work it inside the tackles, he's putting his shoulder down, he's leaning forward. I mean, look, the safety or not the safety, I mean, he had to take contact and make sure he got outside the goal line. There is the last play we saw, jumping over the goal line, holding over the football. That was a 3rd down play. That was big. So I think give the kid a lot of credit. He's emerging into a multi-purpose, multi-dimensional sort of all-purpose back.
All right, let's talk about the Hurricanes defense. Last week, the turnover chain returned. 2 big takeaways. 2 terrific interceptions. Tyreek Stevenson, James Williams. In college football, it's like college basketball or like basketball. You have to find a way to get multiple stops. You're going to give up a lot of points. You're going to give up a lot of yards. Sometimes, as we saw in the case of Kenny Pickett or like in a basketball player, how many shots does that guy have to take to get how many points? Pickett, 500 yards passing. It took him almost 60 passes to do it.
It did, and I think what's going unnoticed here, probably nationally, is Miami won at Pittsburgh against, last week at this time, the Heisman winner. Right? Everybody was convinced he was going to win. Starting 2 freshmen at safety. Starting 2 freshmen, and that both of those guys made significant plays in the ballgame that turned it around. And I think that the youth here is buying in. It proves that there's talent, but they're also very smart. To be able to come in and adapt that quickly and be able to participate at the level that they are speaks volumes for the coaching and also speaks volumes for their talent.
Well, I'll say this. In this sport, at the end of the day, you just got to find a way to win. It doesn't always have to be pretty, doesn't always have to be exact. Certainly we've documented it on this show or on the radio, the amount of turnover there's been in personnel with this roster. But at the end of the day, the defense made the deciding play, right? Tyreek Stevenson's, in my opinion, his interception in the first half was the deciding play. You got 7 points off of that. You could say James Williams as well because they would have been driving down the field. But at the end of the day, the difference in the game was Miami broke the chain out twice, and Pittsburgh only had 1 turnover, and Miami got 7 points off of their turnovers. Pittsburgh didn't get any. That, to me, you won the game by making big-time plays on defense.
And the craziness is, Joe, Tyree Stevenson, that's his first interception in his college life, in his whole career, and it couldn't have come at a better time.
He made a big play when he was at Georgia against Cincinnati in the Peach Bowl, but that was a terrific interception and was a big difference in the game. Just a really good athletic play, leaped up there with 2 hands.
Stayed in bounds, picked up some positive yards, handled the blocking, and then James Williams, his comments were, I've been waiting, and he read the quarterback's eyes, and he reacted perfectly, and he made the catch, came up with it, and that is another play that certainly had an impact on the football game.
And I can tell you this, no questions asked, keep the chain. Because when those guys put it around their neck, they were smiling from ear to ear.
Yeah.
Their teammates were celebrating with them. It was like it had never been done before. And for those 2 guys, it hadn't. So it was their first time, right? And we know what you say about that. So
you
they
never
enjoyed
forget it.
They don't forget it. And they were booming and beaming from ear to ear, and their teammates loved it too. It was great.
Okay, Georgia Tech is up next. The Yellow Jackets have taken 2 in a row from the University of Miami in this series, so the Canes owe them. It's 12:30 at Hard Rock Stadium. We'll talk about Georgia Tech when we come back on the Manny Diaz Show right after this. Okay.
If you train like a pro, then you should be treated like a pro. Much like the human body, our team of sports medicine experts moves as one to achieve a singular goal. Recover your game.
Sure are a lot of different drivers out there, and AutoNation is here for every one of them. The 10 and 2ers, the big fellas, nothing but the besters, even rock stars. But we do way more than sell new and pre-owned vehicles. We believe in something bigger, too. For every vehicle we sell or service, we donate to Drive Out Cancer. Over $28 million so far. What drives you, drives us. AutoNation.